What's up, everybody? How are you guys doing today? Welcome back to another episode of Phenomenal Views. I am, of course, your host, Nick Smith, and it has been a long time since I've made a video, but I am back. Exams are over. I am home for the Christmas season, as you can tell, and we are very close to Star Wars Episode 7. I mean, 3 days. 3 or 4 days. 3 days. And so, you know what? I decided, you know what? I'm going to do two things. One, I'm going to rewatch every Star Wars movie to get myself into the Star Wars mood. And two, I was going to read one Star Wars book before Star Wars Episode 7 comes out. So, I wanted to start in probably one of my favorite side stories of Star Wars of all time, the Old Republic. If you all can see that. So yes, I am going to be reviewing this. I'm going to be reviewing multiple books from the Star Wars book era, but I wanted to start at the beginning. However, funny story, turns out this one is not the first book, even though the people at the bookstore said it was. I just looked at what the first book was, and I realized this is like the 4th or 5th book in this series. So I was like, well, I just wasted time. But I actually didn't. I enjoyed this book a lot. And yeah, so I'm going to review it. Now, if you have not read any of the Star Wars books of the Old Republic, or if you have not played the free game online, I strongly suggest that you click off this video because I am going to talk spoilers. For those who have already read the book, and for those who have already played the game, you already know what happens. So, now, this takes place after the whole entire 15-minute trailer of Star Wars The Old Republic. Which I was thinking that this took place before, because it did explain a little bit of things, and I was like, okay, I could totally see how this takes place before. So, the story of this book is about a former Sith/Jedi named Revan, or Revan. I think his name is Revan. I never knew how to actually pronounce the thing. But this is basically about him and his life after he was a Sith Lord to the dark side, otherwise known as Darth Revan. And this book is basically about how he is enjoying life now, how he is a husband to someone else who's from the dark side, his wife Risa, and how basically they have been living in peace for the past couple years. But, however, Revan still feels like something is not right. So throughout the whole entire book, he's getting dreams of what he used to be like, because his memories have been shut off. So he's basically trying to figure out what this means, and even to the great lengths of going to the Jedi Temple and doing research about things that happened. So, but after all this, like, he still cannot remember what's going on, and it eventually comes to where he has no choice but to go and seek out what it is that he has been sensing through the Force. So he does go to the Jedi Temple. He finds a lot of stuff about his old partner, Metra, who disappeared from the Force. He has no idea what happened to her ever since what he did to her, which he doesn't even remember what happened. So, but this book is basically him going through that and eventually finding what happened, learning about what happened, and going to destroy the Emperor. But this book is not just about him. It is also about Lord Scourge. Now, Lord Scourge was in the Old Republic trailer. And the reason I thought that this was going to be the first book in the series, because it talked about, it just brought up Scourge for the first time, and I was like, okay, well, maybe this guy is, maybe Scourge, maybe this does take place before the whole entire thing. Because that's what I was reading. I was like, oh man, I cannot wait to see what led up to him eventually being the master of Darth Malgus, or however you pronounce his name. And I was just reading about like how, oh, he's such a cool Sith character, how he eventually does turn to the good side, but for the greater good, he turns back to the dark side so he can strike and kill the Emperor. But then I just found out that this is like the 4th or 5th book in the series, so that crap has already happened. Gosh, I feel like such an idiot. But yeah, so Scourge is basically the average Sith Lord, and he has been recruited by Darth Nearsis, who has had an assassination attempt on her life, and he has been brought in to figure out who it was. But after a long time of searching and everything, he comes to find out that I cannot pronounce her name, Nirsa, or something like that. She actually got the assassination attempt on her own life because she is trying to take down the Emperor. And the reason why is because the Emperor is mad. He's crazy. But she is also a Dark Lord. But she knows that the plans that he is wanting to do is going to wipe out the whole entire Sith. So she's like, okay, we are going to go and try to kill the Emperor and restore balance to the dark side. Basically so that their entire species will not be extinct. Because if the Emperor does what he does, the whole entire thing is going, the entire Sith is going to be gone. There's also some other stuff that we learn in this book. Now, I know that the Old Republic and all that has finally been deemed not canon. It's just a side story. But I like the side story about the Emperor. We learned what his real name is. We learned how old he is. We learned how much of an evil, sadistic person he is. I mean, even the movies show that, but that's just a tiny glimpse. This tells you a whole lot more about how evil and sadistic he is. He performed this ritual where he basically sucked the life out of everything on his own home planet to become immortal. And that's what he is. He is immortal. In this story, he's immortal. In the actual canon story, I'm pretty sure he's dead. I mean, when you get thrown into the core of a spaceship, I'm pretty sure you're going to die. There's no coming back from that. But yeah, we basically learned that he did this ritual that took days to do, where he basically drained the life out of this entire planet. It's still around, but it is an empty void. The Force is not even there. And when Metra goes there to look for Revan, she goes crazy to where she has to basically run and leave the planet. She's like, we got to get out of here, T3. I cannot take it. We have got to get out of here. And when she finally gets off the planet, she feels relieved. Of course, I mean, after when you go to a planet that's been uninhabited and it's an empty void, yeah, I would be creeped out too, and I'd want to leave as soon as possible. So basically, Scourge and Revan and Darth Nirsa basically take Revan, and they've been holding him prisoner for years. Now, before this, Revan and his wife Risa were going to have a baby. And he never gets to see his son, and that is one of the most... Oh, I hate that. But there is one good touching moment. He has basically like those communicators like that the clones have, like in the in episode 3, when Captain Cody got that thing out to talk to the Emperor. He has one of those, and his wife sent him a video of his son at 3 years old, and I know you're probably going to call me a wuss. I have emotion. I felt it was so touching. And he would play this over and over and over. And I was like, that is awesome. That is definitely one of the sweetest things ever. It was a really touching moment. That's about as touching as the scene in Alien Isolation. And if you've played the game, you know what I'm talking about. But my gosh, this book just hits you with everything. It has plot twists. It has emotion. It is a good story. This is why I love the Old Republic story. That's why I'm playing the game. I haven't ran into Revan yet, of course, though. I don't know if I ever will. But basically, Scourge basically learns more about Revan as he interrogates him for years. And basically, he comes to grips with, okay, we have got to kill the Emperor himself. So, he goes and talks to the Emperor and tells him about how Darth Nisus, I don't know what her name is, unknown, hard to pronounce Sith Lord name. That's just what I'll call her. He tells her that, or he tells the Emperor that basically hard to pronounce Sith Lord name is going to betray you, and I'm coming to tell you this so that way you can be prepared. So that way, when the Emperor is busy with that, he can easily break out Revan, and then they can go together and kill the Emperor. And when they do this, it all comes crashing down because we get a final epic battle between Revan and the Emperor himself. And it does talk about how the Emperor basically does not have to even fight to do anything. He can mess with your mind. That's exactly why you find out that's how Revan turned to the dark side, was because he messed with Revan's head and he made him do what he commanded. And it was really disturbing. But you find out that the Emperor is a sick man. My gosh. But eventually, It all comes crashing down when Scourge does turn on Revan and Metra. I kind of thought he would. And there was a part of me that's like, I know he's going to betray them, but there was a part of me that's like, maybe he's going to turn to the good side. And he does for a time being, but then he stabs Metra in the shoulder, killing her, and then he basically gets promoted to the Emperor's Wrath, which basically makes him the Emperor's executioner. And he gives Scourge the same ritual to make him immortal. But you do find out that there is a price. Through the rest of his life, Scourge is going to feel absolute pain for the rest of his life. Like, it talks about like how like his organs like were fried, his blood feels like fire, and the Emperor's like, you'll eventually come to grips with the pain, and you eventually will learn to feel no pain. And that's just what the book ends with Scourge eventually waiting for his time to strike and kill the Emperor. Now, it did come with an epilogue to the next book, but I did not want to read it because I wanted to stay in the dark, and I'm honestly just trying to stay away from spoilers on anything as best I can. Well, guys, I would strongly recommend that you get this book. Or play Star Wars The Old Republic, or heck, watch the trailer. They're both awesome. But put in the comments below, what is your favorite Star Wars book? What is your favorite Star Wars series? I am going to be reviewing more books in the Star Wars Old Republic franchise. But I do have something good. This Christmas, I am going to be reviewing actually more horror movies because I did not get to do what I wanted to do for Cinetober. So we are going to have ourselves a scary Merry Christmas, as the very first movie I'm going to be reviewing will be coming soon. I hope you guys have a good day and a Merry Christmas. Have a good day, guys.